We're here with Joel Emsley, the lead character artist on Modern Warfare 2. So Spec Ops, this is a brand new addition to the Call of Duty franchise. I mean, what is the best way of defining it?
Where do I begin? Spec Ops is like a completely brand new game within the game. So we not only have multiplayer, single player, but now we have Spec Ops. It's a totally separate part of the game from single player campaign, and you can play it solo at home, you can play it split screen with a friend, and you can hop online and play with a buddy.
But this isn't, if we just look at the co-op aspect, this isn't like cooperative missions that we see in other games where it's the same type of gameplay, just happens to be in a different setting. That this really is kind of a big potpourri of various activities.
Our designers have crazy ideas all the time. They're doing all kinds of stuff. So Spec Ops is a perfect place for them to take those ideas and just go nuts with them. So like we saw today, the AC130 mission, I mean, who wouldn't want to play AC130 like we just played it? You're up in the sky, I'm on the ground, you're taking care of me. I'm laser targeting helicopters and bad guys and trucks, and it's awesome to see that perspective. And, you know, it can go from that. That's really Modern Warfare. It's very specific to our type of game, and, you know, now it's in a co-op. So it can go from that, it can go to a crazy time trial race on snowmobiles.
So let's talk about the AC130 mission, which is called
Overwatch.
Yeah. So in Overwatch, just kind of detail exactly what the two players do. Let's start with the one that's on the ground.
Right as you're setting up the game and going into it, one person, the lucky guy, gets to sit up in the sky and be safe and bring the hand of God to the enemy. The other guy's on the ground, and you have attached to your weapon a small laser pointer. So it only shows up on night vision, which is perfect for the AC-130 above, seeing that. So you can use that to target big baddies like trucks, armor, helicopters, transports, and your AC-130 buddy can be up in the sky spotting those for you and just bringing the heat down on them. So I think it's something really special that we really wanted to do in this game, and it came off pretty well.
Now, one of the most unique things about looking at level design like that as a co-op level is usually when you're playing co-op, you're fairly adjacent to the other guy that you're playing with in the game space. In this, I couldn't think of a bigger distance. You know, one is very high up in the air, one's on the ground. What are the challenges that brings to trying to design the level just in the sheer space you're trying to fill up?
Well, I mean, it comes down to memory and how we're using the memory. One thing that really helped us along on this project was having better texture streaming technology. So it allowed us to have these really broad, open environments, which you need when you've got one guy orbiting hundreds or 1,000 feet up in the air and one guy on the ground. It's happening all at the same time. So without that technology, some of those things wouldn't be possible. But now it is. So we, not only with AC-130, we have very large levels, really, you know, very sandbox style in Spec Ops, where the AI is just allowed to run around and do its thing and react to the players.
In single-player games where you could have a scripted event with a helicopter, you know, crashing at a certain time, or sort of adding drama to the scene. In this, it really is being controlled by that other player way up there in that AC-130. How much did you have to fiddle with that so like the whole experience didn't just kind of crash in front of you?
Obviously, we test everything as we go. We've been doing it for 2 years, and Spec Ops is very challenging to get exactly what you're saying, everything to work properly. But we improved the AI. We have the new texture streaming. Everything's fitting into memory, and you just kind of let those things, you know, happen. You let the players write the story, and when everything's working properly, you get some really magic moments. You took out, I watched you earlier play, and you schwacked a troop transport, and everybody came raining out of it. It was awesome. So it's those little magic moments that are just happening. They're non-scripted. You know, it's like RL, you know, just happening on the fly. It's awesome.
Now, you also mentioned the AI, that, you know, because especially when you're playing with another person, you can really beef up that AI to be a lot more aggressive.
The really cool part about Spec Ops is replayability, and that is really all about the three difficulty levels we have: regular, hardened, and veteran. And the AC-130 is a perfect example of a level where on veteran it's a much longer experience, whereas on regular you're just going through 1/3 of the map, and it extends out. So
now, do you unlock the harder difficulties, you know, as you play through those various levels, or are they available to you the minute you jump in the game?
Spec Ops is open right out of the box. You can step right into it, but you do have to unlock the missions. It's almost like chapters. You're unlocking like Alpha, Bravo, and so on. So as you go through, you'll unlock the other chapters, but you may not have to finish all of Alpha to open up Bravo, and you can play out of order. You know, snowmobile races aren't for you that day, you can go and step in AC-130 instead.
I'm trying to think of that day in real life where I'm like, I'm going to do a snowmobile race because I'm dangerous. Also, I would have to imagine if it's an Infinity War game, it's not just you can unlock harder difficulty settings, that there are other levels of reward that you can earn by playing through them over and over again.
Yeah, in Spec Ops, one level you can earn 3 stars, and it's also, you'll have personal bests on levels. There's other levels that are very specific to timed events, where you want to go through it very quickly. There's other levels where you're just creating or completing an objective.
Like Prestige, you can sort of make notice of yourself.
Yeah, so in Spec Ops, one level will have 3 unlockable stars, and aside from the time stuff that's keeping your personal best on record, you'll also be able to unlock those 3 stars per mission. So regular, hardened, and veteran, you'll get all 3 stars. There's some people in the office that are after those. I think there's 58 possible, and they want them all, and it just becomes an obsession with trying to get all of those stars. Very, very challenging.
It's not just people in your office. It's most everyone who picks up one of your games. That's going to be doing
everybody.
that.
It's an obsession. It's crazy.
Now, how did you guys come up with the idea? I mean, was this something that was planned at the inception of Modern Warfare 2?
It came online fairly quickly. We really wanted to make a brand new game, but something that the players are familiar with. You don't want to disrupt what works. So co-op was a natural thing that we've been really kicking around. We've been kicking around for before this game, before Modern Warfare 2. So it's in our heads. We decided to step into and approach it like we did in Sniper Escape. So it works really well for our more, you could call it Spec Ops gameplay in Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, where you're doing Sniper Escape and you've got the sniper spotter team going on, and we said, that's pretty cool. Let's take that concept and fit it into a co-op environment and see what we can do with it. And we also play with the players. It's not just like we were talking about before. It's not just straight up kill this many enemies. We may take elements from single player equipment and put them into the level. It's a tailored experience. So I guess the inception of it really came down to the end of the last game, which would have been the airplane level. And we're looking at it going, wow, that level was great. It didn't quite fit into single player, and it didn't have anything to do with the story. It was just kind of there, and it was awesome. But, how can we take advantage of that, and how can we bring co-op into that as well?
Now, for those people that might think that this bears a lot of similarities to the multiplayer, I mean, are we dealing with loadouts? Are we dealing with perks in the Spec Ops missions?
It's a designed experience, tailor-made. Each mission is its own thing. So what we did do is take really fan favorites, company favorites for multiplayer equipment and place them strategically in the levels so that you can set up some really sweet snares and traps. Like I said, the AI is beefed up, so they react to you as a player. You can flush them into really cool kill zones, and you can really design or play the level in such a way where you're laying down a perimeter, or using parts of those elements from multiplayer. So we don't deal with the perks. It just wasn't necessary. We had all that to work with.